So I actually think what the American government and Bezos are actually doing at the moment is criminal. And it started when Trump was president, so I don't know why everyone's kind of like praising Trump at the moment. What they're actually doing is they put the United States Parcel Service shipping costs through the roof. And basically, if you buy anything from America, if you're in any other country, particularly England, I'm not saying that the Americans are also not having a hard time with the money. Americans are having to pay a lot of money for postage, but there are different postage services that actually are a lot better to use, but they're setting people up to use the expensive ones by default. That's the thing. And a lot of Americans just can't be bothered with the hassle, and they just go with what is set up, and they don't want to go out of the way to kind of sort it out. Things like, just putting something in an envelope and sending it. The problem is that if you buy something on Etsy or on eBay, you're just buying off normal people who are really just selling their old things. Now, I'm not saying that, you shouldn't have to tax them or whatever, but if you have a jumble sale, you do usually pay tax, right? But what they're doing on Etsy now is they're collecting massive tax wedges on things that aren't really of really that much value to anyone, really. Just like, you get a nice little thing or a deal, it's not brand new, like as if you would go to a charity shop, or even someone was just selling a few of their things from their house, This whole turning people into everyone's a business and everyone's going to be treated like a business, I don't think is right. But where I think Bezos has really outdone himself is because of all these, even forget it doesn't really matter too much about the tax thing, that's a separate matter. But for like this was really extortionate postage costs, really unfair and unjust postage costs, it's actually making it it's actually robbing you. You're actually being robbed. If you buy anything from America, you're actually being robbed. Whereas if you buy from China, which is just as far, if not further, you're not getting charged any import duty or taxes hardly, and you're getting the shipping for next to nothing. Why? It's just a place on the planet, further away, And what they've done because Amazon is, taking over everywhere. They've got Amazon drivers going everywhere. Bezos is selling everything from tins of beans to books. It was meant to be a bookseller. Amazon was meant to be for books, right? It was meant to sell books. Then it goes into DVDs, music, like B&Q stuff, widgets, you name it. Everything from A to Z now Amazon are shipping from their warehouse, right? And what he's doing is, like Amazon Prime, when you do videos and movies, I got lured into doing a free trial from Amazon, just because of one of the movies that was out. It might have been one of the Lord of the Rings movies. It was a while ago, and I signed up to this trial just to watch. I think it was Game of Thrones. That's it. It was Game of Thrones. And you got to watch that episode, but then you could obviously cancel the free trial. I cancelled it. I absolutely cancelled it. I definitely cancelled it. I absolutely, definitely, certainly cancelled it, right? And it turned out that they'd been charging me £60 for this Prime when I cancelled it. And I hadn't watched any other movies or anything like that, but they got it on the music for some strange reason. But I don't have Prime on music either. I just used to buy like songs outright. I didn't do like streaming services or anything like that. So I got the refund. But I found out now that a lot of people have got put onto this Amazon Prime because they offered free trials and they try it out. And if you buy from Amazon, you get free postage. if you're subscribed to Amazon Prime, Bezos is doing this mega deal where, I mean, it's a big thing. If you're subscribed to his Amazon services, which includes like renting videos and DVDs and streaming music, when you buy from the Amazon main website, you actually get free shipping, right? I don't know if you get it free shipping overseas, but you definitely get it within England. But I think that it's really encouraging people to buy from Jeff, from Amazon. But everything they buy, he's got all kinds of things, like Christmas decorations that you can usually only get in America or in England, or widgets, washers, caps, DVDs, you name it, absolutely everything under the sun. And a lot of these, he does this amazing, excellent shipping service, which runs like clockwork. If it's late, his staff get whipped, basically. He whips his staff, they're like slaves. That's a joke, by the way. So, they've all got cameras watching them all the time if they pick a bogey or whatever. So the whole thing is you buy from Amazon and you literally got it, like it's almost like a joke, 10 seconds later, like someone knocks on your door and, there it is, But while he's doing all this, and he's been set up, I think Bezos has got all these big tax breaks, like, Bill Gates and all these people get these big tax breaks or whatever. We're actually getting taxed to Kingdom Come. But not just when you're like going to B&Q and buying screws or nails or a sheet of wood, or go to a shop and buy a brand new TV from like Currys or PC World. On like Etsy and Amazon and places like that, you're looking through people's old things they don't want anymore. The government already made some tax on it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have to pay tax on trading when you trade with people, but it's like they're treating you as if you're a shop. But if they're treating us like we're a shop, why aren't we getting tax breaks like Bezos? Bezos and all these massive companies are getting all these tax breaks, right? And they're making billions and trillions. Yet us, the normal working class people, we use things that someone already made a load of money out of us and the government got tax. We're actually, just passing it on, and usually not for any further profit, because, you gave your money away. You're lucky if you get what you paid for it back. You get these people who are like buy a paperclip and trade until they get a house. But maybe some people like vintage outlets and collectors are always out to make a profit, but a lot of people aren't. A lot of people aren't out to make a profit. They just want to either get their money back, or, if someone wants it for £8 or whatever, or even less, you can get some good deals for things that aren't new, and they're not really making a profit out of it. And that's what I don't think is right, is that if you've got something that's second-hand and you sell it for £6 and you're even at a loss, by the time someone gets it, some of these shipping packages are like 50 quid. It's not right to buy something for £8 and then someone makes an additional £50, and then the tax on the government is just wrong. And these are normal people in life. I don't think that they value us, and the fact that these massive companies are getting all these tax breaks, or sometimes in some cases not even paying tax and VAT, it's just wrong. And all those tweaked prices are just to discourage you from. You end up not buying from America. I mean, it's you're either getting completely and totally ripped off, or you just end up not buying it. It set these people up to go astronomical. And, Elon Musk, I've just found out that Elon Musk actually didn't, he's been losing money on Twitter because it's apparently not going as well as he hoped. I think he's lost some money on Twitter again. So, I'm not saying that Elon Musk is, he's one of these billionaire people, but I'm not saying that he's He's not doing well all the time, but Bezos seems to be. I mean, I suppose Zuckerberg's had his ebbs and flows. He's had his dips and failures and successes over the years. He keeps going wrong and then losing loads of money and then coming back again and backwards and forwards and so forth. But there's definitely some this Amazon. If Bezos can afford to give people completely totally free shipping when they buy stuff just because they signed up to a movie streaming rental, and none of the people who make the music are actually making that money from the streaming. I mean, who get their songs on there. There's some deal that's wrong for mankind out of it. And what Jeff will say is, look, I'm a mastermind. What Jeff will say is he'll say, I masterminded the whole thing. I'm doing people a favour. They buy things from me. They get it before they've ordered it. They order it at 3:00. It was delivered at 12. It's brand new. There's nothing. It's what am I doing wrong? Well, what he's doing wrong is this loyalty cards. I go to a shop that I have to go to because it's the only shop, so I can't go anywhere else. Why do I need to get the loyalty card from Texaco or Tesco or Sainsbury's or BP or whatever it is, right? Or whatever it is. Why do you have to get that card? It's symbolic, and that's the thing with Jeff. They're loyal. The whole thing is set up for this submit, consent, accept, submit, consent, all our rules and laws and policies, even though they're not law of the country, and give up your rights and powers. And half their policies are illegal anyway because you can't have them. So a lot of them are breaking the law. So the whole thing is it's just to get this kind of loyalty. I mean, that's a perfect word for it. This kind of kneel, or they are king, and apparently they'll look after you if you go with them. But the thing is, what is wrong in life? What is wrong in life to go to another fellow citizen, no matter whether they're in China, America, or your own country, who's got something that it's what's the point in throwing things into the tip or landfill or throw them away when someone else might like it or want it if they don't want it anymore, right? And pass it on so you just don't lose anything. There's not any extra profit on there for you. Who are these third parties coming in with all this 50 quid, 40 quid delivery? It's got to be some kind of joke. Now, I know that people were springboarding, the VAT, if it's under £15, but the government actually had a law where if it is under a certain value, then you don't have to pay import on it, or if it is for a gift or a sample or whatever. And they seem to scrap that idea and claim that they were including the price of the shipping or something in on it or something or other. We don't I actually can't even figure out exactly how they've done it, because sometimes I don't get charged import and other times I do, but I think that they'd reckon that they'd started to get import duty on it, including the shipping, but you can't do that because if you ship an empty box, it's got to be assessed from whether you have to pay tax or not, depending on what's inside it. So you can't assess the packaging until you assess the item. Now, if people are, sending a very expensive packaging and then making money off that's just something that customers will have to find another solution for. Most people aren't, sending, 24 karat gold paper wrapped around things or infusing, drugs into it or whatever or anything like that. The packaging is a separate matter. And also, Customs and Revenue have been a real pain with me with my petition stickers when they can't be taxed, because how would you go to court with them? Because they're legally privileged items anyway, which can't be used as evidence. So I don't know how Revenue and Customs would go to court with you through that. That's for sure. plus they're Class E and Class F materials. So I mean, it I just don't really like what they've done to the whole climate. It's actually really harsh on people. I just don't think they value people. They're raking all the money up for themselves so they can use it for massive projects, making movies. Space stations. All these things that these oligarchs want cost more and more and more. But who are the ones who are providing the materials to them? They own all their own companies that are providing their own materials and their own widgets, and I think they're charging themselves more money for the things they're selling to themselves at the end of the day. This fake inflation. If Bezos has got 20 different companies and they all make different parts for his rocket, all he needs to do is say to the government, oh, well, it's going to cost a fortune now if we want to make ourselves a rocket and a scientist, then convenient for me that, all my companies that are making each separate widget, I can put the prices up in them, and then, it's going to be very expensive, this rocket. We need all the scientists to help us, like Fauci and this. They're very, very expensive, these new microchips. They cost a fortune. Well, I'm not surprised after the guy who makes the microchips, who owns all the different companies that supply the components, have put the prices up, and they're making a profit for all the companies, and then Nancy Pelosi's shares are going through the roof. Clever Jeff. What they're actually doing is they're completely and totally fleecing us and taking us for a Shanghai ride, and they're raking it in, big style, and now Starmer's like, people haven't got nice houses and they're very cold. We're gonna build them some more. After he's supported this whole franchise enterprise, which is basically made to completely and totally fleece us to fund the elite NATO, World Economic Forum, mega elite, this mega elite class or whatever, So we are being ripped off.